Most people using Kalodata are still losing money because they're looking at the wrong things. They're chasing products instead of actually understanding what makes people buy. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we use Kalodata inside our agency, not to only find winning products for our own brands, but to also identify real revenue driving creators and build TikTok campaigns that actually convert. Now, if you haven't seen my full Kalodata review yet, I already broke down whether this is worth investing in or it's a waste of money. Obviously, I wouldn't be making this tutorial video if it was waste of money. But yeah, review video will be linked in the description below. This video is different. This is the full system. For context, I run a successful digital marketing agency. We work with e-commerce brands all over the nation, scaling on TikTok, both organic and paid. And this tool is one of the biggest advantages we use behind the scenes. And not only just for the products, but for extracting proven frameworks, then deploying them across army of influencers at scale to attack it from that angle. So instead of just guessing what might work with this tool, you will be able to launch campaigns with what's already working and what's already proven to convert. All right, so once you first log into your account, this is the first thing that you're gonna see. And these are all the tabs here. We're going to start with the Explore tab. And this is basically where the entire market reveals itself. Also, if you want to watch their onboarding tutorial video right here, you can just click this and it'll take you right to the video. But we're not watching that right now because you're watching me. And the first thing that you see here is the AI search. And this is basically like just ask section. So it's your shortcut. You can literally ask things like, what products are trending in a skincare niche right now, this month, and then it will literally guide you through and break it down for you. Let's go ahead and click search. And look, AI is already doing the work. I love the fact that AI is super integrated in this tool. There is AI for everything in this tool. You just gotta allow the agent to do its work. He's taking a few minutes because it's imagine having a human do this manually. So that's basically what he's doing. And then as you can see, he's still 3 out of 5 here, but you already saw some of the products that he was looking into. And we're on a final 5 out of 5 step here. He's compiling top 10 trending products right now. And as you can see, he's already showing us some images here. He's still going. I mean, take a look at what he gave us already. Look at this graph here, nice and clean. It shows you which product is completely dominating last 30 days here. This is so personalized, this is amazing. We got the sales volume, how many units they sold, ingredients. I mean, it goes in a really, really deep details. And you know what the crazy thing is? You can actually extract this data, bring this into your already trained AI model, and then just let it cook. There you go. He finished, and then he even created a doc file for us. And if you click on this, this is where it takes us. And then you can go ahead and download this right here, export it into a PDF file. This is insane. And by the way, this is not the only thing that you can ask here. You can also do what's growing fast in a TikTok shop right now, or you can ask a super specifics. This AI section here is the GOAT. It's my go-to when I want some kind of a fast shortcut. And underneath here, you have what I call it a quick action button. So for example, the seller analysis, think of it who's making money, or account analysis, who's posting, or products, what's selling right now, or influencers, who's driving revenue. And this section here, this is the hot selling ranking section, and this basically shows you what's already making money right now, right? It doesn't have to be specific as hey, skincare that we saw here, AI analyze for us, and not what might work, not what someone thinks is trending. This is what people are actively pulling their credit cards out to swipe on. And here you can see how much revenue they've generated, how many items they've sold, the time frame, and obviously by just clicking on individual products here, it will give us even detailed report inside those specifics if you're interested. But let's just go back to the focus here. So instead of guessing anything, you're pretty much stepping directly into proven demand. But this is important, right? Like, don't make a beginner mistake here. If you see something that's already at the top, like one of these products, you're already late into the market. And this is a confirmation, not a discovery. And now if you hover over on the second tab, which is my following, right? This is one of the most powerful sections in the entire platform, and most people don't even use it. Now think of this section like your own personal intelligence dashboard. Instead of randomly searching every day, you build your own wish list of products, creators, and stores and track them over time. Right now, mine is empty because I haven't added anything here for the sake of this video. But the moment you click add products, you can basically start tracking anything you want. And once you have your products in here, that becomes your daily tracking system, your performance monitor, your early signal detection. I want you to think of this section like as your go-to where you're watching the market like an investor. Then right underneath here, you have a Kalodata Academy, and this is more of like a learning center type of a section. Like you got the trending products, then you got the competitor list, the affiliate creators, hot videos, hot lives. This is good if you're new. But if you're serious, you're gonna spend more of your time in the data above the section. So this entire Explore tab here, this is not where you make decisions. This is where you spot movement. You're scanning the market, looking for signals. Then we go deeper and validate things. Now that you understand what you're looking at, let's go to the next tab. The next tab here is the category ranking section. And this is where you actually stop looking at individual products and start understanding where the money is actually flowing at a market level. And I want you to think of this section as like a bird eye view of an entire TikTok shop. Instead of asking what products should I sell, you're asking which markets are growing, which are saturated, and where is the opportunity right now. You have 3 tabs here. We have all categories, and here you can see all the categories here. You can scroll through, and this is your full map, right? Everything that's happening across the TikTok shop is featured here in this section. And this is where you understand scale, right? High revenue doesn't always means opportunity. Sometimes it just means it's too crowded. Then you have the second tab. I'm sure a lot of you guys will recognize what Blue Ocean is, but this is Blue Ocean niche categories here. Blue Ocean actually means low competition, but high opportunity. So not a lot of sellers here. There is still demand and there is still room to dominate. So this is where you actually come if you don't want to fight everybody else that's already on the top. So you're not trying to win the war. You're picking a battlefield where nobody's actually shooting yet. And that's my favorite strategy, identifying the breadcrumbs and really getting fat off of eating all the breadcrumbs. You always got to find the angles of entry, and Blue Ocean is where you pick and find those opportunities. Now, the third tab is the rapid growth category tab here. I don't know why we have to keep refreshing this thing in here, but let's go ahead right here. So, this is a momentum tab, and these are categories exploding right now. So this shows you high growth rate, increasing demand, early stage trends, and this is where this is where actually the trends are forming. So important thing for you to know is you need a speed here if you're going to search here in the rapid growth stuff, because once everyone sees it, it's already too late. And also a lot of people are using Kalodata too. So speed to opportunity is what you have to capture. And on the left-hand side here, you have the filtration system. And this is where the real power actually is here in this section, because you can filter by date range, revenue, growth rate, revenue per shop, market concentration. Filters are not just for organizing data, they're for finding unfair advantages. So if you want high opportunity, low competition, you'd set growth rate positive, revenue per shop high, top shop ratio on low. Now you're finding categories where demand exists, not dominated by a few players. So to give you an example right here, we set the revenue growth rate on 100%, revenue per shop greater than 1.5K, top 3 shop revenue less than 50%, and then you go ahead and click submit here. And then now if we narrow this down to, let's say, 70%, we're going to get more results here. And again, this is last 30 days. If you narrow it down to 30%, you'll get even more results. Let's go ahead and stick with the 70% here. 100%, you're basically super strict with the system. 70%, now, we're catching a strong growth without, missing opportunities. So, we're seeing here 3 different results. We're seeing cards and card stock. We're seeing indoor reaction, kids sport shoes. Now, don't just look at the category name here. Look at the data behind it. Growth rate has a momentum. Revenue, it's a good size of a market, and number of shops, that shows us the competition, and revenue per shop, it shows us the profitability. And I think this is where most people mess up, because they see something trending and they jump in it. But you want to ask, is this big enough? Is this crowded? Are people actually making money here? You're not looking for hype. You're looking for an opportunity. Okay, let's go ahead and pick one of these. I'm going to go with the cards here. Now that we're inside the category, this is where you decide, if this is actually worth your time or if you want to move on. So right here at the top, you see cards in stock where we got 1.6 million. Writing tools, we got, it's going down. Notebook and paper, it's going down. We're seeing art supplies going up. This is showing you what's growing inside the category. Not everything here is winning. So even inside the good category, there are winners and there are losers. For example, look at this, cards and card stock here, right? So you have 1.6 million revenue, but you also have 834 shops. And then growth is 115% on this category here, and the revenue per shop is 2K. You can see that right here. So let's decode this. What does this tell us? $1.6 million, that's a solid market size. 115% growth, that's a strong momentum we're seeing. 834 shops, there is some competition here, and 2K per shop, people are actually making some money here. I wouldn't say this is saturated, but it's also not empty either. This is what I call a playable market. Now take a look at this. Top 3, we see 44%, right? And then top 10, 69%. This is very important. No single brand is dominating here. You can still enter this market. Now take a look at this trend here. It's not flat, which symbolizes a dead market. Not, spikes where we seeing some crazy spikes. It's a steady growth. Steady growth always means sustainability. On the graph here, we're also seeing live, which is small, video revenue, which is outrageously much bigger than live revenue. Just by understanding where the money comes, most of the money here is coming from video in this niche, meaning this is a content driven, not a live stream heavy. In some niches, you will see the live stream is super high, or it's 50% of what the video revenue is. So which strategy to really play. But in this particular niche, we would only be focusing on what's already proven, which is a video driven content. So let's say if I enter this, I am fully focused on short form content, not live selling anything. So you're probably wondering, would I enter this market? I actually would, but with a robust strategy. I would not blindly jump here at all. Now take a look at this. This is where things get a little bit interesting, because everything above was just, to get us here. And now we're looking at what's actually driving the revenue inside this category. So right here, you see the breakdown of, where the money is actually coming from. So what does this tell us? This entire category is driven by video. That means if you're entering here, you're not focusing on any live stream, like I said, you're focusing on short form content. Now take a look at this. This right here shows you these are the top products driving this category. Look at this number one here, $242,000 in revenue, price around 14 bucks, 16,000 units sold. So what we're looking at here is a price point, units sold, which tells us exactly like, if there is a strong demand, and the trend graph, which shows us the consistency. This is not about the product. It's about the behavior behind it. Mother's Day card, right? What's really selling here? Emotion, occasion, gifting angle. People don't buy products. They buy moments. Now let's look at the second one here, right? So we're looking at the same pattern. Low ticket, emotion-based, giftable. So now we're not just seeing a product here. We're seeing a pattern. Emotional, giftable, low ticket products winning through video content. This is how you use this. You don't just copy a product, you copy the system behind why it's working. We can even go one step deeper. You click on, let's say, like the number one product here, right? And it gives us deeper breakdown of this product and deeper insights dedicated to this particular product. And here we can get more information. We can see who are the top creators, how much money they've generated, what kind of videos they made. I'm going to go over that here in a second. But for now, let's go back to understanding the tool. All right, the next section here is the shop section, right? This tab. And this is where you actually start identifying who is winning and not just, what is selling. Because here's the truth, products don't scale themselves, shops do. In here you have 4 different types of tabs, starting with all shops. This is basically everything, right? Every seller in the ecosystem is featured here. Their top revenue per shop, their top products, their growth trends. This is where you can kind of scan the market. Look for, repeated product, consistent performers, shops scaling multiple SKUs. This is your map of the battlefield. And the second tab here you have is the best self-operated shops, right? So this is very powerful. Self-operated means the brand or creator is selling directly. So no affiliates actually carrying them. There's a lot of brands here where it's affiliate heavy carry. And these are brands that are not being mostly carried by the affiliates, right? So these are people who built demand themselves through content, branding, organic strategy. So if you want to build a real brand, you want to study these shops here in this section. Basically, these are the shops that purely built demand. Okay, so the third tab here is the best brand shops. And this is where the big players are, your established brands. And what this tells you is what's scalable long-term, what products survive the competition, what categories big money flows into. So you're not here to copy them. You're here to understand what works at scale. This is where markets actually mature. And the last tab here is Sales Grow Rapidly tab. And this is my personal favorite tab because this is where you find momentum. And what this section shows you is shops that are selling fast, they're gaining traction, increasing revenue very quickly. And this is gold because you're not catching them before they peak. And the strategy here is like you look at what they're selling, how they're growing, and you reverse engineer it. So you're not chasing winners, you're spotting them early. So for example, like when you're in the Sales Grow Rapidly tab here, let's say you find the brand, right? So, it doesn't matter, like whatever brand, you just go into the brand in here, you find the fast growing shop, right? You click on it, you look at their products. These are their products here. And then you go into the product and do some product analysis. And if the similar product or the same product shows up across multiple shops, that's not luck, that's a signal. So this section right here, this is not about browsing around. This is about finding who's printing money. All right, now this is the creator section here, right? This is where things actually get serious. And this is where the real money is made because the products don't sell themselves, creators do. So what you're looking at right here, right? You see a creator's username, you see the revenue generated, units sold, followers, follower growth, best-selling products. This is not a list of random influencers. This is a list of sellers. Now, on the left-hand side here, this is where you actually get surgical. You can filter by revenue, engagement, followers, account type, revenue source, which is video versus live. You're not guessing anything here. You're narrowing down who actually converts. Up here, we have 4 tabs. We have all creators. This is the full creators ecosystem here, right? This is where you explore who's active, who's consistent, who shows up across the products. This is your creator database. And the second tab here, this is where people actually sleep from my experience. And what this is like, small or a newer creators, right? Coming into the ecosystem, but they are already making money. You cannot underestimate these guys. And this is gold because they're actually cheap, they're hungry, and nobody is locking them in yet. Your strategy here should be, this is where you find underpriced attention. You don't chase influencers, you invest in them early and lock them down. And the next tab is top video creators. And now this is where content actually prints money. And what this section shows you is creators that are already making money from TikTok videos, organic content, short form sales. This is where you can actually study their hooks, angles, what actually makes people buy. Do not just copy some successful product, copy the entire content partners content framework. This is your creative blueprint towards conversion. We'll talk about copying the strategies and frameworks here in a little bit, but let's just go on to the tab number 4. This right here, the live creators, this is totally different game. And what this shows us here is like creators making money through live streams, real-time selling, audience interactions. And this actually is important because live actually converts a lot differently than organic content. So there is more trust, there is more urgency, there is higher conversion that is inside the live selling ecosystem on TikTok. So if you want volume, this is where scale actually can happen. Like video gets attention, but live actually closes the deal. Also, one little thing that I'm gonna say is like when you find like the emerging creators here, and if you scout out some creators, right? If you see multiple creators that are selling the same product, that's not coincidence. That's actually a distribution system. So you have 2 choices here. Either you find the small creators who are effective doing similar content, and then you reach out to them, or you copy their content system that is already proven to convert and optimize it a little bit, but follow the same exact framework and copy it into your organic system. But this section right here is where you actually stop guessing and start plugging into proven sellers. Okay, so the next section is a product tab section, and this is where a lot of people actually mess up because they try to guess what will sell instead of just looking at what's already selling. What you're looking at here is you're looking at the product, the revenue trend, growth rate, units sold, average price, commission, and the actual videos that are selling these products. This section is not just like a product research. This is a product confirmation section. And inside here, we actually do have 5 tabs, starting with all products. This is everything, your full marketplace data, right? So, you don't just stay here long. You use this to spot dominant products, see market saturation, identify the price ranges, and this shows you what exists, not what's just interesting. And then the second tab here is top new products, and this is where things get a little bit spicy. And what you're looking at here is like, products that were launched recently, like they're already generating revenue. And, this is a early signal. So it's not saturated yet, not overdone. There is still room to win here. So you're not late, you're actually early. So you don't chase the trends, you actually catch them early before they explode. And then the next section is the high potential affiliate section. And this is where I think the beginners actually should live, because what this is like, products that are already converting, high commission, built for affiliates, right? So this is a literal gold because You don't need a product. You actually need a distribution. So you pick a product, you copy the content style, and you plug into the system. So you're not building a business here. You're actually plugging into one. And we kind of went over the sales growth rapidly type of a section here earlier, but this is your momentum section. It is also like, inside the tab here. And this basically shows you, to reiterate, the products that are already exploding right now. They have a strong upward trend, increasing demand, and this is where you ride the wave, not actually create them. So speed actually matters here. If you're too late, you lose. And the last section is top video product section. And this is what I call the cheat code section here, because what this is, products driven by video content creators, viral clips. And, this is everything, because you don't need to just guess content. You literally see what videos are working, what angles convert, what hooks sell. You don't reinvent the wheel. You replicate the pattern. So you can actually click on any one of these, like a video contents.
Yes, and I was 40 years old. I decided to get a facelift, so let's unrock her together. I was just so tired of people asking me if I was sick all the time. Of people calling me ma'am. Okay, I'm not.
Okay, and you can download this. We'll go into the breaking down the product strategy and copying the frameworks and whole 9 yards. But this section is a very important section, because this is where products actually meet attention. And on the left-hand side here, we do have a filtration system, right? So you have a revenue, which you can filter out the weak products, items sold, that confirms the real demand, the revenue growth rate, that's your momentum indicator. We got average unit price, which controls the margins, right? The margins that you're trying to optimize for. A commission rate, this is your profit point, and is affiliate product. That's basically like plug and play system. So for example, I set revenue over 100K, revenue source video, we got revenue source affiliate, revenue growth 30%, commission rate 30%, right above 30%. So this is the last 30 days, meaning this is not an old data. This is what's working right now. And this tells you how much money this product made in the last 30 days. Example, we're seeing 217,000, another one we're seeing 131,000. So this isn't like some theory. This is a cash ready or cash already collected. The revenue trend here shows the consistency, right? You're looking at like a smooth upward movement, not some random spikes that or something that's actually dead. So I don't want one viral hit. I want a repeatable sales. So the growth rate, this tells you if the momentum is actually increasing. For example, like we're seeing 55% growth, that's strong. 30+%, that's healthy. So this means that it's not dying, it's still, being pushed. And then the items sold section here, we're seeing 14K items. That's real market right there. This is the demand validation. So people aren't just clicking, they're actually buying. And then the average order value here, this, controls your profit window. So we're looking at 15 to 30%, $15 to $30. That's basically impulse buy range. So cheap enough to convert fast, but high enough to actually scale the value. And this tab right here, the commission tab, this is your cut, right, as an affiliate. So like a 30% plus is good. 35% plus is very good. That means you can make a ton of money. You move $100,000 worth of product, you're getting 30,000 plus commission. You really don't need to own the product, especially as like an affiliate. If you're an affiliate, you just need the margin. And these are like actual videos here that actually, converted and actually made money. And this is gold, because this is where you actually steal the angle, you steal the hooks, you steal the structure, you steal the content style, and build your own version of it. You can click here.
If you want to avoid Ozempic butt, take creatine. If you want your GLP to work better, D3.
Boom, 2 hooks in one video. You can really get custom tailored here with the filters. So, I'm looking at like 5 things here, right? So if the revenue is real, meaning like over 100K in 30 days, the trend is stable or growing, units sold are high, commission is actually, worth it, and videos exist and they're actually repeatable. If all 5 hit, that's not a product. That's literally an opportunity to grab onto. So what you're seeing here is is the proof of demand plus proof of content plus proof of monetization. Most people only find one of those, demand or content or product. This shows you all three at once. So when I look at this, I'm not asking, is this good? I'm asking, is this already working? If so, I'm replicating. All right, so everything that we saw before, that was a product and creators, right? So this is where the money's actually made. And this is the video and ad section of the software. So like we have 4 tabs here, starting with all videos. This is everything that is performing right now. So you can use this to spot patterns, see volume, understand the market. This shows me the entire landscape, what's actually being pushed at scale. Then the second tab that we have here is the high ROAS, right? So that stands for return on ad spend. A lot of you guys, marketers, would know that if you actually have ran some ads before. So this is where people are profitable, right? So these are videos where ad spend has brought in some return of money, right? So you have proven winners. Like these are not viral videos. These are money printers. Then the next tab we have is high organic traffic sales videos, right? So this is where you actually win without any ads. These are algorithm winners, viral style converters. And this is basically pure content leverage here, like no ad spend, just smart hooks and execution. And the last tab that we got here is low follower sales video. And this is the cheat code section tab here, because like these are small creators. They're still, making big money. And this proves it's not about the followers anymore. It's about the video content itself. Like, for example, like this is how much this video made, not the product, not the creator, video made. The item sold here, like this is where you see the conversion power, right? So you got the high units, which basically equals to strong offer plus strong messaging. Views right here, that tells you the reach, how much reach it took for them to get that many conversions, right? But don't get distracted here. Views doesn't mean anything unless those views are actually converting. In this case, we're seeing those views are converting. And obviously the revenue trend, this shows if it's still working. If the video flattened out, it's not working. If the video is still making waves or skyrocketing, it is working. Anything that is on the rise is an opportunity for you to also prioritize. Now on this side here, you see GMP, right? So this is money per 1,000 views. And this is your elite metric. This tells you, how efficient the video is, not just like how viral it is. And then the ad CPA, that only matters for ads, right? So if CPA is actually low and the revenue is high, that's actually something that's scalable. And we have the ad view ratio here. This is basically how much of this is paid versus organic. That helps you understand, is it ad driven or is it organic viral driven? And ad ROAS percentage here, obviously anything that's above 3 is good. Basically, you got to think of this as let's say if a brand paid $1,000 and then this is 3x, right? That means that every $1,000 that they spent, they get back $3,000. In this case, it would be if they spend $1,000, they would be getting back $3,900, which is pretty good. Also, I want you guys to understand, on TikTok, I'm not looking for products. I'm looking for videos I can replicate, because the products does not make money. The videos make money here. So you really got to understand that. Obviously, you need a product to sell, but you got to concentrate on the video content. Now, in order for you to really think like a legit operator, you need to look for same product that has multiple winning videos. That means it's something that's repeatable. Different creators, same exact angle. That means it's a repeatable formula. Dr. Dent is a great example. You can look at some of the creators who created a lot of content around Dr. Dent's whitening strips, and they're all following the same exact formula. So that means the formula is a good angle to use. High GMP plus stable trend. That means it's scalable. And then low followers are winning. That basically means, you can actually do it and you don't need to have a massive audience to really get converting. What I want you to understand is everything here is not luck. It is a pattern. And you have to get good at understanding, recognizing those patterns, and being able to effectively replicate the patterns of success. All right, so now let's get a little practical here, right? So let's say if you have a brand that's selling like a teeth whitening strips, I'm just using this as an example, or honestly, like it could be like any product, right? First thing you want to do is like, you want to go to the shop section, go ahead and find a similar product that's already selling and has some data to it. For example, like right now we're taking a look at Dr. Dent's whitening strips. They only sell whitening strips, and looks like last 30 days they did 1.5 million in revenue. And as you can see, that's literally mostly affiliate revenue, which is ridiculous. 1.8K affiliates pushing the crap out of this product. And what we want to go and see is go all the way down in here and find the creators. So you can literally see that $1.5 million broken down creator by creator and how much each of these creators brought in last 30 days of them making videos and what kind of videos they made. We can literally click the creator, and then we can see how much they sold, when the sales are actually coming in, how many video views that they got total of the videos that they've made. And then how many of these videos have been actually turned into ads. You can review all this data in here. So let's go down here and, find a couple of creators, right? Like a couple of top creators in here and see what kind of videos that they're running. So let's take a look at this one first.
Oh my gosh. This is my teeth before, and this is what it's looking like now. If you have sensitive teeth like me, these are non-toxic and animal safe. They work after one use. They have sold out so many times. If you see the orange shopping cart right here, that means they're still there. Get it before it's gone.
Okay, so that was the top performing video. Made $65,000 in last 30 days. Now let's go take a look at this dude over here. What's he got?
White shirt, black coffee stained shirt, purple whitening strip, regular whitening strip. I'm trying the whitening strips on this shirt because it's like the coffee stains on your teeth or just the stains in general. Let's see if it works. Now it's time for my teeth. Cut it in half, peel it, stretch it, and stick. Now regular. Now I'm gonna wait 30 minutes and I'm gonna be back with the results of my teeth and the shirt. I just spent 30 minutes, not even talking about myself. Let's see the results. No difference. I'll see the purple. It didn't do anything. Can someone please let me know in the comments why that didn't work? I thought it would. Now let's see my teeth. No difference at all. Let's see the purple. Let me wipe myself. Yo, y'all see the difference? Keep wiping. That is crazy. No filter at all. Look. I just brushed my teeth, and as you can see.
Okay, let's see the other one.
White egg, brown coat, cock stained egg, purple whitening strip, regular whitening strip.
Do you see how he's following a very similar format across all his videos?
Now it's time for my teeth. Cut it in half, peel it, stretch it, and stick it.
Yeah, see, he's following the same format. And you can see all the other videos that he has.
Let me know in the comments why that didn't work, but let's try my teeth. Literally no difference. Let's try the purple. What the hell? Hold on, let me wipe this off. Yo, look at that.
You see that? Nice.
Look at the difference. There's literally no filter. Wow.
So let's say if you wanted to copy this guy's framework, right? So there's a couple of options that you have here. So you can just either download this video, right? And then feed it to your AI. Well, you'd have to transcribe it first before you feed it to your AI, right? The script. Or you don't have to go anywhere. You can just click storyboard export. Let me pause this guy here real quick. He sounds too loud. So they have this thing called a storyboard mode, which basically breaks down the entire script of the video, and you can literally like, you can do multiple different things in here, right? So you could do one, you could save this to your library because this is one of the frameworks that you want to follow, let's say consistently for whatever product that you're trying to promote, yours or somebody else's. You can export the script and then customize it however you want, or you could just use the script optimizer and optimize it like, you know, right here, right on Kalodata in here, right? So you can actually, what you could do here is you can actually generate, let's go down in here. Let's go ahead and generate. Let him like generate for you. And then he's generating a script here. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna take an inspiration from this original script, and he's gonna give us our own version or optimized version of the script that we can actually implement. And while he's optimizing the script, you can actually come back here and then take a look at the other creators. Like, I mean, this lady right here, she makes more simple videos.
All you have to do is stretch it and stick it on just like this, and we're only doing the top teeth. You see before and after. Then this is off, let's take it off. Oh my god.
And this is the one that I actually saw a lot of creators are like, you know, using when it comes to like replicating, stretch it and put it on. So let's take a look at this one here. Where is it? Is there only one video?
I know you guys can see that difference. Look at that.
They were trying on the Dr. Den teeth whitening strips. I've seen these all over TikTok. They have a lot of good reviews. So let's see what the hype is.
These strips are not permanent, by the way. This is like something that only works for a little bit. Okay, so let me just go down in here and find another one. Let's go through some of these videos here.
Clear sponge versus yellow orange juice, yellow stained sponges, purple whitening strips versus a clear whitening strip. Apparently these purple whitening strips are supposed to...
Do you see how he's copying the original guy's framework with an egg? Because he, you know, so like he's copying the winning formula.
And stick them on. Are we gonna just stick the clear ones on? Both boxes are saying to wait 30 minutes, but the purple ones are saying they're supposed to whiten after 30 minutes. So it's been about 30 minutes. Let's take the clear ones off. No difference. Alright, hopefully these purple ones make actually huge difference. Yo. Everyone has been wiping it off. And that has done nothing. Oh my gosh, it's not gonna go on our teeth. Okay, I'm gonna take the clear ones off today. Look,
you see, he's he's using a different tool this time.
One's off now. Huh? Wipe them off. Jeez, our bottom teeth are yellow.
Yeah.
We're both gonna brush our teeth to see if they actually make a difference. Okay.
See, they're following the top dude's framework, literally. But anyways, let's go back in here. Okay, so I just finished generating this thing in here. You can see the script here. Okay, we have all seen these viral purple strips everywhere, but as your friend, I had to do an ultimate test before I actually recommend them to you. So I soaked this egg in a dark roast coffee overnight. You see, like it's basically like stealing the dude's exact video and getting creative with it. And it does it right here. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to take this transcript and put it in your ChatGPT or like whatever AI that you're using. Like I do it both. Like I sometimes like, you know, use ChatGPT or use Claude or use like some other like AI tools that we have internally that we're using. But you don't really like need to go anywhere. You can literally like do everything that you need to do in here. Like you have your, you know, video to storyboard in here. Which we can like, you know, go in. You could copy the links of the TikTok videos, paste them right in here, and then literally extract the storyboard out of them right here. And then you even have an AI video creator. But if you analyze a lot of these creators here and all their content, right? So when successful affiliates, they really focus on one product and they make like a ton of videos around that product. I mean, look at this girl right here. How many videos has she made here, right? 77 items. 77 videos that she made. Like, look at this. Look at all these variations. Not all of them are profitable, right? So, like, I mean, some of them are like $2.99, like, you know, $100, $104. Like, it just kind of goes down to the list. But when you go on a first page here, you can see which ones are the winning ones, which ones really did well. And those are the frameworks that you want to copy exactly. Okay, the next section here, the money printer section, is the live stream section. So we got like multiple different tabs here, starting with the all live streams. This shows you like the full landscape of like live selling on TikTok. You can use this to see like who dominates with live selling, what products are pushed in bulk, how long the streams run. This is the big picture of live commerce basically. And the second tab we have is low follower, high revenue lives. Let me just refresh the data in here. Today, Kalodata has been a little buggy, but we're still getting the data that we need, as you can see. This is the biggest opportunity here, right? So we got the small creators, they're still doing big numbers. And, this proves you don't need to have a big audience. Like you need the right setup and the offer to really kick some butt. And then the next section is a shop self-operated lives, right? We talked about the self-operated, and these are brands that are printing money by themselves, not influencers, the actual brands running the show. So this is what scaling actually looks like, when the brand controls its own distribution. And lastly, we have a lives with recording. So this is where you can actually reverse engineer everything. You can watch the full streams, you can study the structure, you can break down the scripts. This is like getting access to their playbook. And what we're looking at here is like the revenue, right? How much the live made, not estimate content. This is a session-based money. And the best-selling products, what they're pushing during the stream, like usually bundles, usually like repeat offers, the live time, how long they stay live, and the key insights here are like 2 hours versus 10 plus hours, short versus like endurance strategy. Live is really a volume game from my experience and from all the influencers that we've been working with for some of our internal brands and the brands that we're working on. It really is a volume thing. And views shows us like how many people came through, but again, like traffic matters, but conversion matters more. And we kind of touch base on the GPM. This is very important here. This is how much money they make per every 1,000 views. And, this is the gold matrix for lives. So what we're actually doing here, right? I'm not studying lives. I'm actually studying sell systems. Long streams making consistent money means systems work, not the hype. Same products across multiple lives. That's a proven offer. High GPM, that means that's, there's a strong conversion, and low follower winning. This is the entry opportunities. You also have a filtration system here for every single one of these pages and tabs. You have a filtration system for you to narrow down your searches. But lives are not about going viral, guys. You got to understand this. They're about staying live long enough to convert volume. So short form gets the attention. And obviously in some strategies, there is a lot of conversions associated, but coming back to the live focus here, live streams collect the money. So you can get attention with the short form content if you're doing the live selling, and your lives really is where it's at when it comes to collecting the money. So in the creator section of this entire ecosystem here, we can see who's winning. In the product sections, we can see what's selling. In a video section, we can see how it's selling. And then the live section, we can see, where it scales. This tool isn't just, showing you trends, it's showing you the blueprints. And that's the most important thing you need to know when it comes to building effective TikTok strategies. Hopefully you guys were able to learn a thing or two here from this mini tutorial that I put together. In the future, I'm going to do some more like a hands-on experience type of a in-depth type of a Kalodata course where we can see more like a live examples and frameworks that I personally am like, copying and using. But this is pretty much like how to use the tool. This is how to navigate around it. I hope this gave you understanding of how to use this tool, because I think all the functionalities and everything inside that I explained is very important for you to understand before you can effectively start using this tool. But yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding this tool, please feel free to drop them down in description, not description, but comment section below, and I'll do my best to respond to you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned and make sure you guys subscribe.